Hello everyone and welcome back to another market review. This is Silent. Today we're looking at the NASDAQ December contract for 2025. We're starting off with a weekly chart, and so far this week we've gapped up and started traveling through the weekly wick constant encroachment from the previous 2 weeks, and we're making our way up to a new all-time high, which is 25,394. I'm wanting to see if Tuesday will be able to give us that action and get a delivery up into a new high. Dropping down to the daily chart, we've been watching this large wick, and I've extended those price levels through and into today's price action. You can see how price gapped up over the weekend and then traded lower into the low of our daily sell side imbalance and started traveling high. We crossed over the opening price of the week and began leaving that gap open for today's closure. We rallied up through all of our daily wick levels and made an attempt to rally on a new all-time high, but just missed it. On the 4-hour time frame, I just wanted a closer look at those daily levels, and I've also extended our 4-hour sell side imbalance through into this week. We dropped into that level here and started consolidating afterwards, and then as we go into New York, we start expanding higher and we close strongly and then start to pull off of the high that was made today. Again, on the hourly time frame, I want you to watch that reaction from our new week opening gap last week. We dropped down into it and then had an explosive move away. And as we got up into our higher time frame daily wick, we stayed inside that range and started respecting the low end of it as a discount array. This is our gap up over the weekend. We trade lower and then rally into midnight, drop down into the daily wick constant encroachment, and it launches up during the open and settles in on the day here. On the 15-minute time frame, you can see that gap up a little bit better and the Judas swing very early in the Asia session. Before we get that reversal, price begins respecting the low of our new week opening gap before rallying higher and consolidating all throughout the London session. And just before we open in the pre-market, we create a down close candle, which is our bullish order block. This down close candle, and price rallies from it. We create a fair value gap through the upper quadrant of that daily wick, and we drop down into it. This is our best opportunity to be a buyer today, and price rallies throughout the entire day until we get to the high of an old Friday sell side imbalance that I extended through. We rally just above that during the afternoon and then come back in and settle on that range. On the 5-minute chart, we can see those levels a little bit closer. Pay attention to the rally and then consolidation, how it is taking place during the London before London drops down to accumulate. And going into the pre-market, we extend that down close candle from the 15-minute chart in time, and just as we're opening for the pre-market, we get that rally, and then just before we get it to the open of New York, we drop down and it explodes, delivering with strength. The only things you could use in here is these down close candles for bullish order blocks. Price expands away and leaves gaps open. Price continues traveling higher and refers to this fair value gap here multiple times as we settle in on the day. On the 1-minute time frame, all I've done is add our opening range imbalance levels. You can see how price rallies up strongly and leaves that gap open on the 9:30 candle, and we get another gap here, which I'm going to be utilizing for our first presentation array. This intersects with the low of that higher time frame 15-minute sell side imbalance from Friday, and we expand higher throughout the day until we finally get the high of that sell side imbalance. Price accumulates all throughout the lunch hour, and going into the afternoon, we create an imbalance here, our PM session opening range imbalance, and we have a reversal over top of it. So every time we rally above that range, we're going to be seeing it as a premium. We finally break down after 2 o'clock starts and starts treating it as a premium array before coming lower and settling in and creating our wick of the day. Again, going into tomorrow, I'm going to hold that bullishness. I'm not expecting any significant retracement for the Tuesday's price action. I'm thinking we'll just continue higher with strength and create a new all-time high this week. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you learned something. If you found anything insightful, please let me know in the comments. And as always, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow.